about the origin story of the Yoga Sutras and Tantra. And as the story goes, these two sages meet in the forest, and they're both there to see this cosmic dance of Shiva known as the Ananda Tandava. And one of the sages is like of the forest, from the forest, so he's been there all along. And Patanjali, who later becomes the progenitor of the Yoga Sutras, comes from a celestial abode. He hangs out with Vishnu, and he turns up in the forest. And it's a long story, but long story short, they both want to see the dance, and they have to kind of collaborate in their offering in order to invoke Shiva's dance. And when they sit down, when the dance emerges, they take a seat, and Patanjali, the progenitor of classical yoga, sits on this side and gets this view of the dance. It's kind of the occluded view. Like the arm traverses kind of the midline, and Vyagrapada, the forest sage, who is like the indwelling voice of the heart, sits on this side. And this is like the lesser known, lesser tread path and practice of yoga. So it's just kind of funny to see that in the room today. Like whenever I try to get like plane tickets or concert tickets, I always try to like be on a little bit on this side. And this, you always see like this side fills in first. Just a funny thing. I see a lot of new faces today. Welcome, and like old friends and regulars. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Mariel. I'll facilitate the practice. This is Melissa. She's here to help assist. She'll offer you verbal assist, manual assist if you're interested, help bring around props if you need them. And then Camden is on the mat as our demoer. So if you're like, what the fuck did she just say? Camden has been with me a while and kind of reads my mind when my words don't work. So you can peek at Camden, and often even if she's not doing what I said, she's doing the thing that everyone should be doing. So look to Camden for cues. Especially with Mercury in retrograde, I don't trust my wording as much as regular. And she's there on the mat for folks at home as well, who I think I'm logged in on the computer, but not here yet. I'll get that going in a moment. So Mercury's in retrograde. We're fully in it. And there's a lot of weird planetary things happening this week. I'm not someone who believes in astrology per se. I love to have a healthy dose of woo factor in my life, just because I'm a very spiritual person, and it's important to me to have a healthy balance of head in the clouds, feet on the ground. I think that's my moon in Capricorn. But I view astrology much like I view the stories, the mythology of the yoga tradition. I see all the planets and houses as characters, and the better we know the characters of the universe and how they interact with each other, we see them in ourselves and in our own lives. And that what yoga tells us, what yoga reminds us, is that we're part of something much greater than just ourselves. We're part of communities and societies and civilizations and planet and universe. There was a big bang, chaos, and from chaos, some amount of order. And from that chaos and order, we try to make something harmonious and virtuous as yoga practitioners. So I was listening to an astrology forecast this morning, and it sounds like the next week is going to be pretty tough. And for me, and the woman talking is astrology is a tool. It's not a belief system, it's a tool. And I feel the same way about yoga, that yoga is this wonderful tool that we have in order to cope with real life, that we are yogis that are in and of the world, and in a world where naturally things can get a little chaotic, we have this practice as a way to resource ourselves and ground ourselves and enlighten ourselves and empower ourselves and engage ourselves. And it came to me that this is my last Leo season class with y'all. When I get back, it's Virgo season. But the biggest thing I learned from Leo season this year is that the Leo energy is one of enlightenment, empowerment, and engagement. And we need all three of these things together. No one is all that valuable on its own. That the first lesson of Leo is there's intrinsic luminosity, and we were put here to shine. And no one shines better than a Leo. And yet, like, none of us are immune or exempt from Leo energy. Like, if you really get into the complexities of your chart, we all have Leo energy. We have all the energy of all the signs. And it's about season, the spirit of the season. And this is the season where we practice, like, shining, being really bright. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun, what's that? Does anyone know that famous Hafiz poem? I love Hafiz. Like, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Imagine a love like that. That's not exactly how it goes, but that's the gist. Like, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Imagine a love like that. Like, that's how that's what we're put here to do. We're put here to shine. And yoga is a practice of enlightenment. We turn the light of awareness to the breath ignites the heart, the indwelling light of the heart has an opportunity to illuminate the mind and the body. That is the process and the practice of enlightenment. But then you're just a light. You know, what do you do with that light? How does it empower you? Does the light empower you to want to be brighter and give your best, all your heart, pour your heart into the world? And when we pour the heart into the world, we're engaged with the intensity around us. We're not bypassing. So much of the spiritual traditions, like, err on the side of bypassing. Like, it's so easy and tempting to bypass. And I think that this tradition of yoga is like, recognizes that tendency and really, really begs the notion of engagement, and like an enlightened, empowered engagement. So I will be checking out this week. I'm going on vacation. I'm like, phew, see what adventures may come in that regard, but not to bypass. If you're in it with all the grace you can possibly give yourself, like, be in it, stay in it. Imagine a love like that, like, where whatever the intensity of the world may bring, we have like a full moon coming too, that it doesn't dim your light, it actually fuels your light. BLE, big Leo energy. Do we have any Leos in the house? Yes, yes, yes. So, like, when in doubt, just like look to the Leos for the reflection. And when we like reflect each other's light, the light gets brighter. So look for the light in yourself and recognize it in each other. That's really what namaste means. Like, the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. BLE, here we go. Take as comfortable a seat as humanly possible for you in this moment. Mercury is in retrograde, so I always try to include some restorative practice. And in order to invite the richest, yummiest restorative, we'll burn, baby, burn. Take a comfortable seat, as comfortable as humanly possible for you in this moment. The eyes can soften. If it's easeful for you to close your eyes, you can close the eyes, a gesture of turning into darkness in order to see more clearly. Notice where you are and how you are. A moment to recall what brought you to the practice of yoga. A moment to become receptive to whatever it is your practice has to offer to you today. And let's invite a slow and deep and a full breath in, and a slow, long breath out. Allow the breath to flow in and out through the nose. The entire physical, bless you, practice of yoga is first and foremost in service to the breath. The breath is the lead dancer in this practice. And the currents of the breath naturally flow in the direction of the heart first. The heart symbolizes our inner sun, the indwelling light of the heart. The heart never says to the mind or the body, you owe me. Imagine a love like that. As the breath ignites the heart has an opportunity to unconditionally illuminate the faculty of the mind and the agency of the body. And here in this gift of conscious breathing embodiment, we have an opportunity to align ourselves, engage ourselves, and stretch ourselves through aligned engagement in ways that allow the currents of the breath to flow more deeply and fully and freely in us, as us, through us, and in turn allows the indwelling light of the heart to emanate, to radiate more fully and freely in us, as us, through us, and from us. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. If there's anything in particular you need from your practice of yoga today, let that sit like an intention or a seed in your heart of hearts. And we'll seal it there by bringing the hands together before the heart in Anjali Mudra, a gesture of sincere self-reverence that acknowledges and honors this indwelling light of the heart, and the gesture that places this luminosity before us as a guide for at least the time we spend together. Together, we'll set the tone for our practice today by sharing the voices of our hearts and the sound of an Om. You can feel free to join in or let it wash over you. Deep breath in. Bow to your heart. Keeping that connection inward unwavering, release the hands, blink open the eyes. So we are gonna start reclined. You're gonna take your blanket. If you don't have one, Melissa will bring them around. And it comes off the stack like this, and we're gonna roll the end of it, and you can either just do like a half roll for kind of like a skinny roll, or if you want a thicker roll, this is gonna be a deeper back bend, a roll all the way. And then you're gonna place it across like the top quarter of your mat, and then lay with the shoulder blades on the this roll. I would say bolster, on this blanket roll. So it shouldn't be south of your shoulder blades. You should have your shoulder blades right on it. And if it's uncomfortable, it might be because the roll is a little too thick. In this case, just unroll it partially so that it's not as thick. And then you could take your elbows above the roll and kind of scooch your elbows down if that feels too high. Once the roll is sort of below the elbows, you can sort of slide your elbows down and take your hands wider. Scooch this way, Amy. Okay. A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. There you go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, if it feels a little awkward, I just noticed on Amy, like maybe give yourself permission to roll a little bit further north so that the blanket rolls a little further south. So your head is like firmly on the ground. You don't feel like your head is, like it shouldn't feel like the throat is really open. You can slide this way a bunch. So you should be able to have your elbows above the blanket. You might, again, have to roll higher so that the roll is lower. I was just gonna come over and suggest that. Yep, you got it. There you go. Does that feel okay? And it should just feel like a soft heart bench. Find your breath. Come up for just a sec. Let's try. That's all right. How's that? Is that better? Okay. Look for your breath. Feel the sensation of opening across the chest, the lungs, the heart. And a word of caution, the tendency when we do a chest opener like this is that the breath feels very prominent in the chest and the upper lungs, and that kind of breathing pattern can induce a little bit of agitation or anxiety. So the key with the heart opener is to deliver the breath deeper into the belly. Can you keep the breath really deep and full even as you hold the chest, the lungs, the heart more open. So as you inhale through the nose, can you expand your belly, even feel your hips broaden? And as you exhale, feel your belly soften. Inhale for a count of 4, belly expands. And can you exhale a little longer than 4, towards 5 or 6? 3 or 4 more times like this. Inhale fully, deeply for 4. Something's ready. And as you exhale, slow down the beginning of the exhale. See if you can make the exhale a little longer. So when you initiate a breath pattern where the exhale is longer than the inhale, that should have a soothing effect as well, sort of soothing, calming, grounding effect. One more of the deepest, fullest breaths. And on your next exhale, let's bend the legs, place the feet on the floor. Press through your legs so that you can roll your body north over the blanket roll, so much so that your shoulders and head are on the floor now. So much that the shoulders and head are on the floor. Some of you are there already. Mindful of props and neighbors. On the inhale, reach the arms all the way overhead. And on the exhale, stretch your legs out long. Press your heels down, flex your feet, spread your toes. You can stretch the arms up, 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 up overhead on the floor. If that's uncomfortable, take the hands wider and stretch them wide to the sides. Huge breath in. Exhale with a sigh. Let it all out. Huge breath in. Breath ignites the heart, illuminates the mind and the body. And as you exhale, let the indwelling light of the heart emanate from inside out in all directions. Through your toe tips, fingertips, through every pore on the surface of your skin. One more of the deepest, fullest breaths. This time exhale through the nose, slowly. And then bending the legs, feet on the ground. You can gently roll to one side, press through the arms. Put the blanket to the side and come into tabletop position. Bring your hands all the way up to the top corners of your mat. Take your hands a little wider than your shoulders. You can use your blanket to pad your knees as well, by the way. Big breath in, and as you exhale, send your hips just towards your heels in puppy pose. Claw the fingertips. Notice what you feel, how it feels, where you feel it. Inhale to table. This time, if they're not already, walk your knees back more so they're a little bit behind your hips, really stretching the fabric of the body. Big breath in. Exhale, hips back towards the heels. Claw the fingertips into the earth like you're a Leo the lion claws. And as you claw the fingertips, lift the underside of the arms up away from the floor and draw the shoulder blades to each other, to the spine. Sort of plug in to the bottom back of your heart. The side of the sun that can't be seen, the bottom back of the heart. And as the bottom tips of the shoulder blades come right into that space, anchor your tailbone down. One more breath. Inhale to table. Exhale to downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet from side to side. Stretch through the soles of the feet and the backs of the legs, and just take a moment to notice what you feel, where you feel it, how it feels, if there's anything in particular your body needs or wants from your practice today. Find your breath. Inhale to plank. Shoulders over the wrists. If the shoulders come forward of the wrist, that just means the dog was a little too short. Look forward, claw your fingertips, lift your thighs high to the sky. Lift the fronts of your thighs higher. Higher, higher, higher. Yes, now look forward. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 5, 6. And downward dog. Whew. On your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Lift the left heel, look forward. As you exhale, step through to lunge. Plant your right foot, right knee and toes point straight ahead, and on your inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Crescent lunge. Send the light of awareness into your back leg. Illuminate the back leg. Lift your back knee and thigh high to the sky. And as you press the back knee and thigh up, can you feel the back leg engage more? We enlighten the back leg to empower the back leg to engage the back leg. Lift the back heel higher. Yes, press the back knee higher. Stretch up through the thumbs now. Send it up through the fingertips. Keep all that and just bend the front leg like 4 inches. Whew. Keep pressing the back leg up though. Nice. With your exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. The feet a little bit. Notice any shifts, changes, newfound space. Find your breath. With your inhale, float your left leg to the sky. With your exhale, catch your lunge. With your inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Take a moment to pause. Feel both feet on the ground as you reach through the fingertips. Lift your back heel higher. Keep that. Press your back knee up. As you press the back knee up, can you feel the back leg get straighter, stronger, more lifted? And as you ignite the back leg, reach up through the fingertips. Elena, wrap your right hip forward more. Other way, exact other way. Yes. Keep that as you bend the front leg deeper, deeper. Press the back knee up. Yes, one more breath. And on the exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Now igniting, enlightening the legs is what empowers you to feel and stay strong. Your legs are the biggest, strongest part of your body. So as you inhale to plank, it tends to feel kind of weighty and kind of like sinking down energy. Just do the back leg and lunge in your legs. Lift your heels up, press your knees up to the sky, press your thighs up to the sky, and you will be able to sustain your strength and power. You can stay right here or keeping the heels, knees, and thighs lifting. Bend your elbows a quarter of the way. Keep the thighs lifting, push the arms straight. Exhale, downward dog. Awesome. Find your breath. On your inhale, next inhale, float your right leg to the sky. With your exhale, catch your lunge. Lower the back knee down, pad with a blanket as needed. I recommend keeping your back toes under because it's going to give you more awareness and light, like light of awareness to enlighten the back leg, which will give you more engagement in the back leg for free. We'll interlace the hands behind the head. Now with the back toes tucked under, pull your back knee forward, hug the shoulder blades together. Can you feel that? Press your hands into your head and your head into your hands. And now linking breath and action. As you inhale, pull the back knee forward. Exhale, press your head into your hands. Inhale, pull the back knee forward. Exhale, press head into hands. One more breath. Tailbone lengthens, head presses back. Inhale, reach up through center. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Find your breath. The breath ignites the heart. The indwelling splendor of the heart illuminates the mind and the body. Here in the gift of conscious breathing embodiment, inhale to float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Lower the back knee down, pad with a blanket as needed. Interlace your hands behind your head. Come more upright. Front knee and toes point straight ahead with the knee over the ankle. And as you hug the shoulder blades together, press head into hands, hands into head. So when you press yourself into yourself, you should get more sensation of engagement in the upper back for free, just by pushing your head back and pressing your hands forward. And now linking breath and action. As you inhale, pull the back knee forward. Exhale, press the head back. Inhale to pull the back knee forward. Exhale, press the head back. One more time with your breath. Pull the back knee forward. Keep that. Press your head into your hands. Inhale, reach up through center. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Claw the fingertips so that your weight is more on the tips of your fingers and inner edges of your hands. Keep that as you inhale to plank. If your shoulders come forward of your wrists, scoot your feet back a little bit. Lift your heels, lift your knees, lift your thighs, look forward. Stay right here breathing. If you want more slow motion, thighs lift, exhale, bend the elbows halfway. Thighs stay lifting, inhale the arms straight. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. Inhale to float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Spin the back heel to the ground. Bring your right elbow to your right thigh and reach your left arm overhead for extended side angle, Parsva Konasana. See that your front knee and toes point straight ahead with the knee directly over the ankle. Then linking breath and action here as you inhale, pull the feet towards each other and feel the legs engage, ignite from the ground all the way up into the hips. And then from the hips, the core of the pelvis, your deepest core power, push down and out through the legs so much you could reach further past your top fingertips. Bring your right shoulder back, take the right shoulder blade to the spine, and as you bend deeper in the front leg, use your right elbow to guide the right knee open, bend 1 more inch. Turn the left palm to the sky, and as you inhale, pull the feet towards each other, reach up and back, warrior 2. Bend 1 more inch, good, push the front leg straight, big breath in. Exhale, right fingertips to the floor or a block for triangle pose. Right knee and toes point straight ahead. Put a little bend in your front leg. Little bend in your front leg. And look at your front knee. When you bend the leg, is the knee knocking in a little bit? Yeah, so as you press through the inner edge of your front foot, squeeze the front heel in and guide the inner knee more open. Keep that as you take the top of your back thigh back to straighten the leg. 1 more breath, lean back on your shoulder blades. You can even walk your right fingertips behind you more, like more of a back bend than a standing pose. Gorgeous, Yoshi. On the exhale, pass through lunge, downward facing dog. Just take a moment to pause and reflect here. Notice the newfound light of awareness, particularly through the right leg, maybe even the right hemisphere of your body. Claw the right fingertips, the left fingertips, deepen the breath. As you inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground, and we'll just climb left forearm to left thigh, either right hand to the hip or overhead. I should have said that on the first side. So if the arm stretch overhead feels like strainy at this point, you can also just rest the right hand on the right hip. Find your breath, and as you inhale, pull the feet towards each other, and you'll actually feel the legs engage, ignite from the ground all the way up into the hips. The back foot pulls forward, the front foot pulls back, and you activate your strength, your power in your legs. Then from the core of the pelvis, as you push down and out through the legs, the energy rebounds, that grounded energy rebounds through the spine and the crown. That left shoulder is popping forward, that's dimming the chest, the lungs, the heart on the left side. Take the left blade to the spine, yes. And now as you reach through the right arm, lean back over the shoulder blades. Turn the right palm to the sky. Inhale, warrior 2. Reach back through the right fingertips as you bend the front leg deeper. Good, big breath in, push the front leg straight. And as you exhale, find triangle pose. What happened there? As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other. Feel the legs activate, engage from the ground all the way up into the hips. From the depth of your being, as you push through the legs, extend through the spine, the crown, the arms, the fingertips. As the rays of light emanate from your heart, down through your left fingertips into the earth, up through your right fingertips towards the heavens, and out through the crown of your head, far and wide. Even walk your left fingertips to a block behind you, and as you push through the inner edges of the feet, lean back on your shoulder blades, more like a back bend, for 1 more breath. So now it's playing in my car for some reason. Pass through your lunge on an exhale. Downward facing dog. I don't understand technology. Find your breath, breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. On the inhale, find plank. Try to keep your heels, your knees, your thighs, your head lifting as you exhale, slowly lower in the style of U. Chaturanga, look forward, inhale for cobra. Pause here, press the inner edges of your hands down and pull your hands towards your feet. And as you pull the hands towards your feet, light of awareness goes through your legs into your toes, flick your toenails down and hug your legs to the midline. And now imagine you have those hands behind your head or imaginary headrest. Keep the sides of the neck long and just imagine you're pressing the roof of the mouth straight back. Pull the hands back, shoulders back, palate back. And on your exhale, find downward facing dog. Notice what you feel what you notice. The light of awareness strategically expanding in you, as you, through you. We turn the light of awareness to the breath ignites the heart, and the heart has an opportunity to enlighten and to empower and to engage all aspects of the self. Let's see if this works. Let's walk the feet halfway forward, the hands halfway back. Meet yourself in the middle of your mat. Heel toe your feet about as wide as your mat and make your feet parallel, right on the outer edges of your mat. So if you were to line up the center of your heel on an outer edge of your mat, it would be the center of your heel and the base of your second toe on those outer edges. The center of the heel and the base of the second toe, and that makes your feet parallel. Now bend your legs and bring your palms to your outer shins. And with your hands on your outer shins, legs bent, squeeze the shins towards each other and press your inner knees and thighs apart. The shins press in and the inner knees and thighs press out. Bend your legs more. You should feel a big opening between your sitting bones and your pelvic floor. You're lining up the bones of the legs and the hip sockets. As the shins press in and the knees and inner thighs press out, keep the heels heavy, but tip a little bit more weight into the balls of your feet. And now press your thigh bones back to straighten your legs. From your thighs pressing back, not your knees. Good, now either take your strap or interlace your hands behind your back for a shoulder stretch. Legs as straight or as bent as suits you. Can we get a strap right there, Melissa? And as you hug the shoulder blades together, try to pull your hands apart. Everyone bend your elbows just like we bent the knees. Bend the elbows. You can let the heels of the hands come apart. That's totally fine. Bend your elbows a bunch. You're like me, you hyperextend. Yes. And as you bend, see the difference? That's awesome. As you bend the elbows, you can get the shoulder blades more connected, more engaged to the heart, and that helps to hold the chest, the lungs, the heart more open. So you don't have to hyperextend or overextend yourself in your elbows or the periphery. Bend your elbows, hug the shoulder blades together, and now energetically try to pull your hands apart to expand the engagement, to open the integrity. One more of the deepest, fullest breaths. Reach the arms to the sky. Inhale, exhale, fold, let the forearms get heavy overhead, and release at the bottom of the breath. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet back. On your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it. Bring your blocks to frame your front foot. Keep your back heel, knee, and thigh lifting. Blocks are gonna wanna be pretty high. If your hamstrings are tight, you might want a block and a half on each side. We can come around with more blocks. I'll bring you blocks. Can I get a set of blocks over here? Okay, now push the front leg straight. Keep the back heel, knee, and thigh lifting. Draw the left arm bone into the shoulder socket, left shoulder blade to the spine. Bring your right hand to your right hip and draw the right shoulder blade to the left shoulder blade. You start to twist a little bit towards the brick wall. Twist your heart a little bit to the right. Now here's the key. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other. Bring the shoulder blades together, and as you exhale, lean back on your shoulder blades. Rest your head back. You can even close your eyes for balance. Pull the feet towards each other, scissor the legs to the midline. As you exhale, lean back over the shoulder blades. Now, as you press the left fingertips into the floor or the block, reach the right arm to the sky. Stretch through the right fingertips. One more breath. Inhale, scissor the legs to the midline. Pull the feet towards each other. Exhale to lean back, open up. Inhale to untwist. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot through to lunge. Bring the blocks high inside your front foot. So we're just going to finish something on this side before we do the second side. Lower the back knee down, pad as needed. Both blocks inside your front leg. You can walk your blocks a little bit more to the right. We're going to bend the back leg, and with the right hand, find the right foot for a thigh stretch. So we're kind of illuminating all the different sides of this back leg. It was just the front leg, now it's the back leg. When it was the front leg, we were getting the back and side of the leg. Now it's the back leg, we're getting the front of the leg. Press the back knee down and forward. Maybe bring the left hand to the left thigh. Maybe reach the left arm to the sky if you feel steady. Beautiful. Ilana, can you hold I'm gonna mirror. This is internally rotating. Inner outer edge of the foot. You might like this hold. Just want to make sure you're holding more this way. So you got it. Pull the back knee forward, and as you exhale, think ribs up and back, shoulders up and back, head back. Good, and then gently release, downward facing dog. Push through your arms to lift through your hips and ground through your heels. Notice what you notice, feel what you feel as the light of awareness flows again, ever more deeply, ever more fully, in you, as you, through you, and from you. On your inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge, bring your blocks high to frame your front foot. The back leg is like lunge, so we're really focusing on pressing the back heel, knee, and thigh up to the sky as you push the front leg straight. Place your blocks so that they're really in line under your shoulders, front leg straight, left hand to left hip. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Now the tendency is for that right shoulder to kind of drop down and out and forward. Take that block as high as you need to draw the right arm bone up into the socket, to draw the right shoulder blade to the spine, and then as you twist from right to left, to lean back on the right shoulder blade. With the left hand on the left hip, can you wrap the left shoulder up and back, almost like you're doing half of a shoulder circle up and back, so the shoulders hug together, the shoulder blades hug together. Big breath in, pull your feet towards each other for balance, and as you exhale, lean back on the shoulder blades. Left arm can extend to the sky if that feels suitable. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other. As you exhale, lean back on the shoulder blades. Just lift this hip up a little bit. Yes. Inhale to untwist. Exhale through lunge. Take it back to downward dog. Press the inner edges of your hands to the earth to protect your wrists. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. On your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Bring your blocks high inside your front foot and lower your back knee down. Pad with your blanket as needed. And with your left hand, find your left foot for the thigh stretch. Once you bind yourself to yourself, find your breath, and we'll link breath and action. As you inhale, pull the back knee forward, front foot back. As you exhale, draw the ribs back, shoulders back, head back. If you feel steady, maybe right hand to the right thigh, maybe right arm overhead. Let's illuminate the We'll create that really long neuro pathway from brain to back toes. Can you turn your back toes out more? and your back toes more to the left. Gently release. Downward facing dog. Look for your breath. Inhale for plank. Shoulders, take your wrist just a little bit forward of your shoulders. You can do that by scooching your feet back a little bit. Now lift your heels up higher, lift your knees and thighs up, look forward. Lower just your right knee towards the earth. Keep the left knee and thigh lifting. Lift the right knee up. Lower your left knee towards the earth. Keep the back thigh lifting. Lift the left knee up. Take your feet as well. Claw the fingertips. With tips touch your left shoulder. Right hand down. Left fingertips to left shoulder. Left hand down. Walk your feet towards each other. Block your legs together, lift your heels, knees, and thighs high to the sky. Keep the thighs lifting, look forward, bend your elbows halfway. As you bend your elbows, lift your thighs higher. Yes, push your arms straight, nice, Kristen. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Take your blocks high in front of you. Take a big step forward and up for a supported warrior three. Supported warrior three. Turn your back toes in. Front knee and toes, standing knee and toes point straight ahead. Try to square your hips more so that if your hip bones were like headlights, they would focus parallel towards the floor. Turn your back toes in. And as you hug the back leg to the midline, reach your heart forward. Maybe even walk the blocks forward a tiny bit. Bring your right hand to your right hip. From the left waistline, twist your heart to the right. Draw the right shoulder blade to the spine, the left shoulder blade to the spine. Flex the back foot, squeeze the back shin in, and press the back knee up. And now reach the right arm to the sky and lean back on your shoulder blades. As you inhale, squeeze the back leg in more to the right. As you exhale, lean back on the shoulder blades. Inhale, hug the back shin more to the right, like you're trying to kick the brick wall if you're in the studio with your back leg, and lean back over your shoulder blades. Nice. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, lower down. Downward dog or forward fold. Just find your breath. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. Feel the parts of yourself that touch the earth. Feel the parts of yourself that are aware of the breath. And see the presence of your heart in all that it touches. It's the same way we see the sun. We see the light of the sun and imbibe all that it touches. That's how we engage and express the heart. We'll meet in downward dog. Take your time. It's called revolved half moon pose. On your inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Take your blocks on their highest height, way out in front of you. Find your breath. Big breath in. On an exhale, spring forward for supported warrior three. Flex the back foot. Turn the back toes in more, yes, and square your hips. And you just want to make sure that that standing leg isn't locked. So the standing leg can be straight without being locked, and the standing knee and toes should point straight ahead. You can even like take your standing heel a tiny, tiny, like micro hair wider, and then squeeze the left heel in and guide the inner left knee open, yes. And now rather than lifting the back foot up, can you lift your back thigh 1 or 2 inches? Yes, turn your back toes in more and squeeze your back shin to the midline, left hand to left hip. Draw the left shoulder blade to the spine, the right shoulder blade to the left shoulder blade. Start to twist from the right waistline to the left. And as you inhale, squeeze the back shin in. As you exhale, lean back on the shoulder blades. Option to extend the left arm to the sky. As you push through your right fingertips, can you lift the right thigh 1 more inch? Squeeze the back leg in as you lean back on your shoulder blades. Every inhale, kick the stairwell wall. Kick your back foot to the left. Keep that for stability as you lean back on the shoulder blades. Can I touch? Try to touch this wall with your back foot. Yes. Press into me there. Yes. Inhale to untwist. Whew. Exhale, step back to lunge. And downward dog. And rest in child's pose. Or full pranam if that's more comfortable. If child's pose is unpleasant, just come onto your back pillow with your hands. Those are called warm-ups. I just had to stick that one in there on the end to make sure we were really warm. Feel the breath in the sides and back of the waist. Okay. Inhale to table. Exhale to downward facing dog. Find your breath. On the inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to outer right elbow. Lift the back heel, knee and thigh high to the sky. Yes. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Nice, Fran. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale through to pigeon prep. Right knee behind the right wrist. You can walk the back or forward as suits you. Bring your blocks high to frame your hips. Hands to blocks, framing your hips. Pull the knees towards each other to lift and square your hips. So you're engaging the legs and using the engagement of the legs to empower a lift up through your whole body. So rather than sort of sinking down, the more you pull the knees towards each other, you actually lighten up. Can you keep that? Bend your back leg, left hand for left foot, pigeon thigh stretch. Press the back knee down and forward. And again, that neural pathway from your brain to your back foot, what can't be seen, but can be felt. It's like that knowing at night the sun still shines somewhere, right? Send the light of awareness into your back foot and spread your back toes like rays of light. Nice. And can you spread the toes more to the left? If you feel steady, right arm to the sky for just a breath. A belly breath. And on the exhale, gently release. Take it back to three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky. You can open it up, foot high five to your left. Inhale the leg long, and exhale, float it to the ground. Your breath. Fingertips, exhale, outer left arm. Lift the back knee and thigh higher. Yes, inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, knee to opposite arm. Keep that back knee and thigh lifting. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, catch your pigeon prep. Left knee outside the left wrist. Adjust from your back leg. Back knee can walk back or walk in. Get a little bit more weight on the outer edge of your back knee. Blocks high to frame your hips so that you're more lifted up. And then pull the knees towards each other in order to lift and square your hips. So you're lifting up more than you're sinking down. And as you wrap the left hip forward, can I touch? And tack the right hip back. Yes. Bend the back leg, and with your right hand, find your right foot. And then create that neuro pathway. Feel into your back toes. Spread your back toes. Turn your back toes out more. And as you inhale, pull the knees towards each other. Keep the inner lift as you exhale. Maybe left arm to the sky for a breath. And with your exhale, we meet in downward dog. Take your time. Inhale for plank. Lift the thighs an inch, look forward, bend the elbows an inch. Lift the thighs 2 more inches, bend the elbows 2 more inches. Reach your heart forward as you bend the elbows. Inhale the arms straight, lift from the thighs, yes. Exhale to your belly. Woo. Make a pillow with your hands. Turn your head to one side. Notice what you notice, feel what you feel as much, and it's not to reduce yourself to a feeling, but to actually let into the light of awareness all that you feel. You can turn your head to the other side. Notice any changes in perspective, what you notice, what you feel. Okay, we're going to roll onto the back and place a block between the thighs with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. Block between the thighs, yep. As you inhale, feel your belly expand. As you exhale, feel the belly soften. So we always want to prioritize that awareness of and the sensation of that full, deep breath. That the breath is deep and it is full and it moves freely. There's an expansion with the inhale, there's a softening with the exhale. And the yoga challenges the breath. It's not meant for the postures and the practice to diminish the breath. So we're not seeking the actions or the poses over the breath. We're practicing the actions and the poses as a way to challenge ourselves to prioritize and sustain the breath. Does that make sense? So whenever we lose connection to the breath, yoga becomes the tool again. We come back to the breath, we're back in the yoga practice. And this is how we practice on and off the mat. It's how we stay bright on the mat and in the lives. The breath fuels the brilliance. The breath ignites the indwelling light. When we lose connection, the light gets a little dimmer. When we reconnect, the light gets brighter. So stay with your breath. We're just going to bring the knees directly over the hips. Your tendency will be to pull your knees more over your belly. So once you bring the knees over the hips, flex the feet, spread the toes, hug the block, and then press your feet away from you. Bring your knees away from you until you feel your core ignite. Can you feel that? Yes. Now as you flex the feet and spread the toes, hug the block. As you squeeze the block, take your inner heels a little wider apart. You could extend your arms alongside, press your palms into the earth. You can keep your hands on your belly. You can interlace your hands behind your head if you like. As you inhale, hug the block. As you exhale, imagine you're pushing a heavy box to the back of the room. Push, push, push. Good. Pause there as you inhale, hug the block. Exhale, knees over the hips. We have 2 more of those. Back the knees up just until you feel your core ignite. Big breath in. As you exhale, you're pushing a heavy box to the back of the room. Pause there as you inhale. Press the head down. Exhale, knees over the hips. One more time. Squeeze the block. Big breath in. Exhale, you're pushing a stack of heavy boxes across the room. Pause there as you inhale, hug the block. And exhale, bend the knees. Take your arms out in cactus, palms up. Hug the block. Press the center back of your skull down and keep your left shoulder down. And keeping your left shoulder down, back your knees up a little bit till you feel your core catch, till you feel your core ignite. And as you exhale, take your knees to the right, keeping your left shoulder on the ground. And now right there, imagine you're pushing a heavy box across the room. Good. Big breath in, hug the block, bend the knees. And as you exhale, come back to center. Whew. Knees over hips, back the knees up just until you feel your core catch. And keeping the center back of the skull rooted, the right shoulder down. As you inhale, hug the block. Exhale, knees to the left. Only as much as you can keep the right shoulder down. Pause there, big breath in. As you exhale, imagine you're pushing a box across the room. Nice, Chris. Good, big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees in and come back to center. Feet to the floor. Are we still friends? Okay, take the block out from out from between your legs, and then stand through your feet and place the block right underneath your hips. Lowest height or medium height to start. Knees are hips width apart and the feet are directly under the knees. And now stand through your feet to lift your hips up, and notice if you feel like you could take that block higher. In that case, stack your 2 blocks under your hips, or take the block if it's on its lowest height up a notch. So you have a lot of options here. It's called supported bridge pose. Your knees hips width apart. You can bring your knees a little bit closer together. Yeah, there you go. Deep, full breath, supported bridge. Push through your legs, stand through your feet. If you can lift your hips up, there is room for more blockage under there. You can stack your 2 blocks. Or if your blocks are stacked and there's still more space, you can take your top block on its second highest notch. So we're coming into this through the strength of the legs, just to be clear. Knees in line with your hips, feet in line with your knees. The tendency is for the knees to splay open. Really hug your knees in like train tracks. So your legs should look more like parallel lines than like a triangle out to the corners of the room. Can wriggle the shoulder blades in a little deeper. Bring your knees and feet all the way together. Press the center back of your skull down. Bring your knees and your feet completely together. Hug the legs together. Push through your feet. Bend your left knee over your left hip and stretch your left heel to the sky. Hug your right knee to the midline and push through your right foot and try to raise the roof with your left foot. Let the power come from your bottom leg. Squeeze your bottom knee in and push your bottom foot down and try to leave a heel print on the ceiling. On your exhale, bend the left leg, left foot to the floor. Zip lock your legs together. Feel both feet on the ground. Bend your right knee in and press your right heel to the sky. And bring the light of awareness to your bottom leg. As you inhale, squeeze your bottom knee to the midline. And as you exhale, press your bottom foot down and forward. Yes, inhale, squeeze the bottom knee in. Exhale, push the bottom foot down and forward and leave a little heel smooch on the ceiling. Nice. Exhale, lower the hips, bend the leg, foot to the floor. Remove the blocks. Put the blocks to the side and just let the hips be heavy in the lap of the earth for a few breaths. You can be still, or you can windshield wiper your legs if you prefer. Something between stillness and dynamic movement. Okay, and then roll to the right. And come up just to see the heart bench for your, it's like a deeper restorative back bend. You'll have 2 blocks, and 1 block will come underneath your shoulder blades. So again, your shoulder blades are on the block, and the other block will support your head. Camden's quite open, so this is her starting point. For most folks, you're gonna have your head block a little higher than your heart block. And then we want to work to the place where our head is in line with the heart, okay? So you can watch Camden, shoulder blades to the block, head to the block. You can have your knees bent, feet on the floor to protect your lower back. If your low back feels okay with the legs extended, have at that. And we'll be here for a few breaths. And then if it feels suitable, you could take your head block down a notch so it's at the same level as your heart. And that looks like this. And then if you want more, you would take your head block lower so that your heart is your highest point. So your block would be on its lowest height, and then the heart is the highest point. So let's start with the head higher than the heart, because that's going to be like the most restorative, relaxing to start. Call Melissa and I over if you need or want help with this. So your shoulder blades are on the heart bench, and the skull block supports your head. Adjust as needed. And then once you're in, sort of notice what you feel what you notice. Look for your breath. This is similar to where we started, and yet more intense. That could be some foreshadowing for the week ahead. And the key is to not get caught up in shallow breathing, that when we're sort of holding this position of heart openness, we gotta stay grounded, feel into your legs, and connected to your breath and your belly. The feeling of the breath in your belly and the light of awareness in your legs. Belly breathing. Eyes can be softly opened or softly closed, but really allow the muscles around the eyes to relax. And then when the eyes are softly open, and even if the eyes are closed, you might play with this. When the eyes are softly open, it's more than letting light in. Imagine just letting light emanate out through the windows of the eyes. The light of the heart emanates out through the windows of the eyes. So that'll help you keep the eyes soft. Now, if you want more, big if, you can take your head block down a notch so that it's at the same level as your heart. So much of this practice of yoga is about calling the head into alignment with the heart. Aligning ourselves with the indwelling light of the heart helps us to make choices and actions in life that are in line with our heart of hearts. Helps us to bring the light of our hearts more fully to those in the world around us. It's literally what we're put here to do. Belly breathing. Feel your legs. The shoulders melt towards the earth. Throat soft. If the throat feels tight or constricted, consider taking the head back up a notch so that there's softness through the throat and shoulders. That's preferable. And if the throat is softening while it's in line with the heart, maybe now consider taking the head block on its lowest height, allowing the heart to be the highest point. But there should be no strain. So we're not subjugating the body in order to make the heart the highest point. We want to seek ease and softness. If there's any subjugation of the body, it dims the emanation of the indwelling light. Just want to align. Belly breath. And maybe 3 rounds of an inhale 4 count, inhaling for 4 at your own pace, and exhaling towards 8. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's a progression, not a perfection. So we're not subjugating the breath, we're dancing with the breath, and the breath is the lead dancer. Okay, now when it's come out, this is kind of the hardest part. And I'll talk you through it, I just kind of want to forewarn you. The key is to try to let let yourself rise from the heart, and the tendency is going to be that you want to lift from the head. You want to lead with the head. This is just our human tendency. The practice is to lead with and from the heart. So when you're ready, you're going to bend your legs, feet on the ground. Imagine like you're rising up from underwater. You know that feeling, and your head is kind of back when you come up from underwater. Press your palms down into the ground, and pressing through your feet and your palms, can you rise up from your heart and let your head come last? Whew, it's hard. Yes, it's hard, right? How hard is that? Put the blocks to the side and come back onto your back, and just feel the impression left by the blocks as you come onto your back. You can let the head be heavy, let the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the throat release. Belly breathing, legs can be bent or extended. We are gonna have a Shavasana, I promise. We're not there just yet. Bend the legs, feet on the ground, hips width apart, directly underneath the knees. Press into your feet, bend the elbows alongside the waist. The elbows are bent so that the palms face each other at the midline. And as you press the center back of your skull down into the ground, feel the sensation of the upper back chain starting to ignite. And as you press the elbows down, feel the chest lift and wrap the shoulder blades together right into the back of the heart center. Slightly to the right of the physical heart is the heart center. And we're using the shoulder blades to create kind of like a little cradle or nest under the heart. Keeping that stand through your feet to lift your hips up. So now we're moving into a more active bridge pose. As you stand through the feet to lift your hips up, find your breath. Inhale, hug your knees towards each other. Exhale, push your feet down and forward. Feel the bridge grow from inside out. You can stay right here. You can interlace your hands underneath you if you want, or you could take your hands outside your ears as wide as your mat in preparation for Urdhva Dhanurasana. So the palms come to the floor, fingers point towards the feet. Hands about as wide as the mat. Find your breath. As you inhale, hug the knees to the midline. Exhale, push through your legs and feet to come to the crown of your head. Pause, turn your toes in and your hands out. Hug the knees to the midline. Big breath in, push through arms and legs to come all the way up to Urdhva Dhanurasana. Turn your toes in, knees and toes in, hands out. Find your breath. As you inhale, wherever you are, hug your knees to the midline, and as you exhale, push your feet down and forward to pump your heart forward the opposite direction. Look for your heels if you're in Urdhva. Yes, feel that in your heart. Look to the ground, the heart opens. Yes. And as you exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Resist the tendency to hug your knees in towards your chest. Just take your feet as wide as the mat and let the knees rest against each other at the midline. Enjoy the rhythmic beating of your heart as it emanates from inside out in all directions, illuminating your mind and your body, emanating from inside out. Slow down the beginning of each side of each breath. Feel how the breath speaks to the heart and how the heart responds to the breath. Any questions on Urdhva Dhanurasana or back bend or anything we've done so far? Yeah, question. How do you what? I can talk you through this. You got to bring your legs closer, and for you, Yoshi, your knee a bit. So I'll show. Roll to one side. I'm just going to show you some of the tendencies. Some of the tendencies of places where we tend towards misalignment is where we tend to sort of leak energy, lose power, and dim the light. So the more we know the alignment and seek the alignment, the less we're going to leak energy, the less we're going to lose power, and the brighter we become. Whenever we're in a bending backwards position, the knees and feet want to turn out to compensate so that we're bending in the lower back, because this is where we're the most flexible. This is also culturally where we're the most vulnerable. I think it's like in the high 90%, so maybe even 99%. I haven't checked the data in like at least 5 years, but it used to be in the high 90s that American adults will experience low back pain at some point in their life. I mean, it's probably like 100%, right? Have you ever had low back pain? Do you know anyone who, well, whatever, okay, like as it's coming out. So if you can't see, just come where you can see. And this is why I have us put a block there a lot of the times when we do the back bends. It's just to protect the low back, because I know we're all vulnerable. Camden will do it on, she knows exactly, like she'll do as I do. Thanks, Camden. But I don't want you to hurt yourself, so you don't have to demo the misalignment. Folks at home, I know you can understand it. It's just the tendency is for the knees and feet to turn out, and that's just like here. But then you might get to the point where you have the light of awareness to line yourself up, knees bent, feet on the floor. And I promise you, if this is anything less than fluent, so meaning whether this is new for you or you've been doing this a while, when you make your feet parallel, it will feel pigeon-toed. It'll feel like your toes are turning in even though your feet are parallel. That's how much you have to turn them in to get them parallel. So I'll come into bridge pose. I love coming into Urdhva Dhanurasana for bridge pose because you can get the shoulders really lined up. And the more I come into bridge pose, this is going to be the tendency. See what just happened? Feet and knees turned out. So I'm going to turn the toes in. That feels a little pigeon-toed. Are they parallel or too turned in? They're parallel, okay. And that's like 20-something years of yoga. I'm going to get the shoulder blades in. I'm going to place the hands outside the ears. And then in this transition, the feet usually lift up and turn out, and you come up, and now I'm just taking this in my lower back. I'm not in my upper back or heart. I'm like right in my lower back. So I'm going to parallel the feet and then push through the legs to get into my upper back. Can you see the difference? There. It's like a little slippy. I put on lotion this morning. It feels like I'm pigeon-toed. I'm hugging my knees and toes, and are they pigeon-toed? Isn't that crazy? And then to bring one leg up, you got to bring your legs together. So make your two legs feel like one leg. And the key, sorry, I'm slipping. Can I come over, Natasha, and my new friend here? Sorry. I'm sorry. That's like for added challenge, do it sans mat with some oil on your hands. Muscle energy. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Oh, I like this mat. Okay, that's better. So we did this in bridge pose. I zip lock my legs together and just bring the knee in first. I hug the bottom knee in and push the foot down. So all your awareness has to be in your standing leg. The tendency is going to be for this foot to turn out, and then it's really unstable. I got to hug the knee in and push through the foot. If that knee is turning out, you're balancing here, and that'll yell at you tomorrow. The knee is splaying out, foot is turning out. When the leg is lined up, it'll burn here. You'll be sore here tomorrow. You'll be cursing me, but your low back won't hurt. So I would just say, like, to start, the starting point would be, you can also do this in bridge pose. Feet and legs together. Lift the heel up. Lift the heel up. Could you see how when I lifted the left heel, the right knee went out? Did anyone see that? You gotta hug the left knee in as the right heel comes up. Hug the left knee in as the right heel comes down. Hug the right knee in as the left heel comes up. Hug the right knee in as the left heel comes down. Heel up, maybe foot up. Whew. Marching. I think we did this a couple of weeks ago in class. We did like marching. Okay? So you don't like go right for the leap. Even like Hanuman's leap, he didn't like immediately take the leap. They like marched as a army to the tip of Bharat, right? And then he gets ready to make the leap. You want to try? So you could be in bridge pose or Urdhva Dhanurasana. You could also do it in your supported bridge pose with your blocks under your hips, okay? So there should be access to the form because it's not about the form, it's the actions. So choose an access point that's gonna grant you the actions. Supported bridge pose, or Urdhva Dhanurasana, and then we're gonna restore, okay? Come onto your back. Gotta know what kind of mat this is. Find your breath. Knees, hips width apart. Feet, hips width apart and parallel underneath the knees. Bend the elbows alongside the waist. Press the elbows down, press the center back of the skull down, stand through your feet to lift your hips up. Now take a moment of discernment to be in what serves the light of your heart. Do you want to put blocks under your hips here? Do you want to be in active bridge pose, or do you want to place your hands outside your ears for Urdhva Dhanurasana? You do you. If you're going for Urdhva, turn your toes in, hug your knees in till it feels slightly pigeon-toed. In fact, everyone can do that. Make yourself feel ever so slightly pigeon-toed. Hug your knees to the midline, turn your toes in, and we'll meet in Urdhva Dhanurasana or wherever it is you're going, okay? Now, once you're in, right there, the feet turned out. Yoshi, yes, pigeon-toed, yes! Hug your legs all the way together. Make your two legs into one leg, all the way together. Squeeze your knees together, squeeze your feet together. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Now just lift your right heel, squeeze your left knee in. Squeeze your left knee in as you lower the right heel down. Squeeze your right knee in as you lift your left heel up. Squeeze your right knee in as you lower the left heel down. Squeeze your left knee in, right heel up. Right foot off the floor. Squeeze your left knee in. Good, right foot down. Lift your left heel up. Squeeze your right knee in. Right foot, left foot up. Good, left foot down. You can march one more time to each side if it feels accessible. You got to bring your awareness to the opposite leg, not the leg you're lifting. It's the leg that's holding you, supporting you, grounding you. Nice. And then save some for the landing. Feet wide as the mat, knees together. How was that? It's so much in the legs. Your legs are like your keystone. This is like all your power is in your legs. I have this forever new sample image, like GIF image, is that what those are called, in my head, of the dressage horses walking sideways. Yet to figure out a yoga pose that correlates with that. Okay, bring your feet as wide as the mat and let both knees fall gently to the right. Option to place the outer edge of the right foot on top of the left thigh. That's totally optional. On the inhale, draw the legs up through center, feet as wide as the mat. And on the exhale, knees fall to the left. Totally optional, left foot on top of the right thigh. Belly breathing. On the inhale, legs up through center. Bring your legs all the way together. Bring your legs to touch and cross the left thigh over the right thigh. So there's no space between your legs. Scoot your butt a little bit to the left and lower your legs to the right. And as you come into the supine twist, 3 of the deepest, fullest breaths that require the least amount of effort. So just turn the light of awareness to your breath and notice how naturally the breath deepens and expands. And let the breath massage the visceral organs. And the eyes can be closed, or if the eyes are open, again, more of that letting the internal light out rather than pulling the external light in. With the next inhale, you can draw the legs up through center. Uncross the legs, shift the hips to neutral. Cross the right thigh over the left thigh, no space between the legs, scoot your butt to the right, legs to the left. Let the breath breathe you. You okay there? It's okay to touch? Inhale the legs to center. Uncross, shift the hips to neutral. Stretch your legs out long and reach your arms overhead. Huge breath in, and with an exhale, sigh it all out. Huge breath in, and on this time, make the exhale slower and longer. At the bottom of the breath, press out any little bits of remaining still air. And on the final one, we'll go in through the nose and out through the nose as deeply, as fully, and as slowly as humanly possible. Like, challenge yourself. More depth, more fullness, more length with the exhale. More duration. At the bottom of the exhale, squeeze the knees in towards the chest, wrap your arms around your body, give yourself the sweetest, most loving embrace. You can gently rock from side to side or in little circles. And then you can either roll over to the side and press up to sitting or rock your way up to seated. I'm going to show you one of my all-time minimal prop favorite restorative postures. You could by all means take it or leave it if you just want a classic Shavasana or grab your own props for your own restorative. That's cool too. So it comes off the stack looking like this. We're going to open it one time, and you remember making like a paper fan as a kid? You're going to make, it's called an accordion fold. So it's like a really narrow, long fold. Melissa and I can come around to help as needed. And then the fringy end of it is going to be away from you. And the kind of like clean end will be right at your sacrum lower back. So you're not sitting on it, you're sitting in front of it. And have your blocks handy because we're going to do the yummy Baddha Konasana thing with the blocks. Before you even come down, you can bring your feet together. And you want to wedge these so that they're sitting on the blade, they're like touching the earth on the blade edge, and the flat edge is against your body. So when you're more propped up, it might be easier to set that up. You might have to adjust it once you're in. And then Camden will show, you can lie back, Camden, and it should line up with your spine. And then you have all this extra blanket. You're going to take your thumbs, and you're just gonna scooch it up right for your neck. So you have a nice little neck rest. Rest your head back. How does that feel? Nice. It should feel like a little pedestal for your neck and head. And if you wanna scrunch it up a little bit more for your head, you could do that as well, okay? We'll come around. The key, the idea of this posture is I want it to be totally comfortable. If it's anything less than perfectly comfortable, can I help? Ditch it. So it's meant to be just totally supportive and comfortable. Sometimes the restorative postures that I like to teach are in the service of a little bit of discomfort. This is not one of those. If you're not sure, just ditch it. What's going on here? Oh, let's see. Change the playlist like halfway through class, so we're not quite to the Shavasana music yet. I'll go fix that in just a sec. And then actually this way if you want on your back. Good. And now lift your head just a little bit for me.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah. Good. Does that feel okay, Kat? If you're comfortable, it's right. It's just a matter of if you're comfortable. Can I peek at this? Lift all the way up for a sec. Do you mind if I redo it? I just saw your text right before. Talk to you after class. And lie back. And lift just your head. And lie back. How's that?
No.
Okay, great. Look for your breath. Watch the inflow and outflow of vital energy. And visualize this path of energy as follows. The breath flows in, and the breath ignites the heart. And the splendor of the heart illuminates the mind and the body. And as you exhale, the intrinsic radiance of the heart emanates from inside out, as far and as wide as you can possibly imagine. The breath flows in, ignites the heart, and the splendor of the heart emanates from inside out on the currents of the exhale. So as you bathe in the breath, you bathe in the indwelling light of the heart, like interior sunbathing. We see the light of the sun in all that it touches. Allow yourself to see the light of your own heart in all that it touches. And so for now, we allow the body to move into stillness in order for the imagination to expand. The breath ignites the heart as it inhales. The light of the heart radiates from inside out with the exhales. Invite a deeper breath in, a longer breath out. As you deepen your breath, feel how naturally your breath deepens you. The breath ignites the heart. The splendor of the heart illuminates the mind and the body. And here in this gift of conscious breathing embodiment, very gently use the light of awareness to adjust, remove, modify your props as needed, particularly the blocks, in order to stretch your legs out long. The spirit that you are, begin to gently wiggle the toes, the fingers, awakening the body that you have in whatever ways feel good. And a moment to allow the body that you have to embrace and adorn and reflect the spirit that you are. The way that the moon reveals the sun, the body reveals the heart. As you're ready, you can bend the legs and feel your feet on the ground and just take a moment to call yourself down to earth. Have a breath, call yourself back to reality and take a breath. Take a moment to visualize the ways in which you stretch your practice of yoga into the activities of your daily life, really as a tool, as a coping strategy for staying in alignment with your heart of hearts in order to bring your heart of hearts more fully to those in the world around you, particularly in times like this. Meaning whatever is going on personally and collectively, nationally and globally. How do we bring our lights, take responsibility for your light and bringing it more fully to those in the world around you? Imagine a love like that. When you're ready, you can gently roll to one side, press through your arms, your legs, come into a comfortable seated posture. Your eyes closed and your hands folded before your heart. An Anjali Mudra, a final gesture of big Leo energy, self-reverence, a confidence, a courage, and the indwelling light of the heart, so much so that we place it before us as a guide and an offering, courageously bringing our hearts more fully to those in the world around us. As you bow to your heart, with all my heart I bow to this indwelling light in every one of you. And may this light guide us all in all we do. Thank you so much for your practice and your presence and for all that you are and all that you do every single day of this life. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, y'all. Best wishes this week. Just, ground it in your legs, deepen your breath, and brighten your heart. Now and always. And I was trying to see if there's any announcements. We have Kids Yoga Fun Night on Saturday, August 17th from 5:30 to 8:30. School-age kids, that's for school-age kids, it's like yoga and pizza and a movie. Thai yoga massage is with Stacia on Saturday, August 17th from 1:30 to 3:30. That's such a nice, yummy day treat for yourself and a friend or a loved one. And then on the 18th, we have Roll Into Rest with Adriana and Anisha, just another yummy, yummy afternoon to give yourself from 1 to 3. And then following that, we have an immersion in 200-hour teacher training info session from 3 to 3:30. So if you're curious, interested about immersion or teacher training, come ask your questions or hear other people's questions for insight and information. And do anyone here have any announcements? Happy end of Leo season. And then we get into the August Virgo, which is like the Sunday of the summer. I'll see you for that. I'll see you for the Sunday of the summer. I'll be back in time for that. We'll do really long exhales.
Where are you guys going?
Mexico. Yeah. And I was like worried about hurricanes, but I think it looks like, yeah, is that the like peninsula between, yeah, between like Cancun and Tulum. Yeah. Is there hurricanes in the forecast? I checked yesterday. It looks good. It can change on a dive. Yeah. Thank you. We'll have a great class here next week. Melissa and Camden will be